sir, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. It will kill. The Sword of Perseus.
Son of Zeus, the Greek demigod Perseus is best known for decapitating the Gorgon Medusa with his mighty sword. The legendary weapon is described as having a short, leaf-shaped blade that was perfect for cutting, slashing, and thrusting. Perseus was given this blade by the Greek goddess Athena, who wanted Medusa destroyed. Later in the myth, Perseus used the head of Medusa to turn the massive Kraken sea monster to stone, saving the princess Andromeda. Though the story is fiction, you can watch Perseus slay Medusa in the film Clash of the Titans, or visit renowned artist Benvenuto Cellini's bronze depiction in Florence, Italy.
I don't want to see. I'm turn into a rock. All right, bladesmiths, welcome to the kill test. Now, in Greek mythology, Perseus used his sword to decapitate Medusa and remove her head from her body to use it as a weapon. To that end, I will take your weapon and help me to deliver some killing slashes and blows to liberate her head from her body. Robert, you're up first. You ready for this?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this.
Going into testing, I am concerned about the weight. I'm hoping my blade can do everything that Doug wants it to do, but I'm concerned.
All right, Robert, let's talk about your sword here. I like the design that you have of the Damascus in there, but it's so heavy. It's about 5 pounds over here, but the thing is, it's so forward heavy. Most of the weight's up here. When I'm lifting this, I can feel all the stress right there. This is supposed to be meant to be a single-handed use weapon. Now, your edge is plenty sharp. It was easy to thrust and cut, and it will kill. All right, Jared, your turn. You ready, sir?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this.
With the test, you never really know what to expect, and anything can go wrong.
All right, Jared. First up, you nailed the balance on this. As a one-handed sword, it's about 3 pounds lighter than your opponent's. Your edge is razor sharp. Every slash is deep. The thrust, no issues at all. And most importantly, sir, it will kill. All right, bladesmiths. Next up is the strength test. Release the Jamie-nator.
All right, bladesmiths, we took Medusa's head during the kill test. Now the Kraken's turned to stone. So what I'm gonna do is take your swords and beat them mercilessly into these stone Kraken heads. It's gonna be brutal. And Rob, you're up first. How you feeling?
A little nervous, but I'm ready.
Let's do it.
This is the make or break test.
You okay?
Yep, bounced off the glove, didn't cut me.
Oh, what's that? My blade breaks, my heart breaks, but I am just so glad that it didn't hurt Jay.
Oh, a little bit of a problem here, Rob. On the tang, you can see a black spot, so that means you had a stress fracture there. And with the weight of this sword hitting those stone Kraken skulls, it was enough to allow that stress fracture to just continue all the way across. So the good part is that your edge held up, so good job on the Damascus, but it's kind of hard to swing a sword without a handle on it.
Well, Robert, your blade broke after 4 strokes on this crack and head, but that doesn't mean that you're out of the competition. Jared, your blade still has to survive 4 strikes. Jay, let's get crack-a-lackin'.
This is it right here. Let's see what it did to Rob's blade. My sword's got to hold up 4 swings, and I know Jay, you know, he's going to try to do some damage.
Jared, your blade survived. Robert, unfortunately, your blade cannot continue to be tested in this competition, and for that reason, I have to ask you to please leave the forge. Come on forward, my friend. You killed the Medusa, though.
It's a heartbreaker, but I'm really proud of what I did.
Jared, congratulations. The strength of your weapon has ensured that you are the Forged and Fire champion, leaving this forge with a check for $10,000. Good job, brother.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
How you feeling right now?
Good.
How about a smile or something?
Yeah.
All right, come on over and shake our hands, brother. Good
Thank
job,
you.
man. Good
Thank you.
job.
I am the new Forged and Fire champion, something I never thought I'd say. I can't wait to get home, give my daughters the news, and take the 10 grand, take my family on a vacation somewhere.
The Hattori Hanzo, a 1,000-layer katana. Whoa. Born in 16th century Japan, Hattori Hanzo, also known as Devil Hanzo, was perhaps the most legendary samurai to ever live. Almost 400 years later, in the 2003 Tarantino cult classic Kill Bill, Hattori Hanzo is reimagined as the modern-day bladesmith who creates a katana so fine it would cut God. In reality, the katana is the majestic symbol of the ancient warrior samurai, featuring a simple but elegant single-edged blade designed for precise cuts and lightning-fast thrusts. The dazzling Damascus layering produces not only a beautiful piece of steel, but an incredibly sharp and deadly cutting edge.
Bladesmiths, a Hanzo's katana's first duty is to kill. To find out what kind of lethal damage your weapon will do, I will take your katana and deliver killing blows on this ballistics dummy. All right, Mike, you're up first. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this.
Yes.
Mike, your edge is razor sharp. But more importantly, there's bone on your edge, but your edge did not roll, did not chip, and your blade stayed true. Overall, sir, your blade will kill.
Thank you.
Tristan, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. All right, Tristan, the balance of your blade is very good. It's light, it's fast, it's easily maneuverable. But when steel meets the skull, there were some problems. Your blade took a serious bend. Also, on the edge right here, you took some chipping. But overall, looking at the dummy, I think your weapon will definitely kill.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, The second duty of a Hanzo katana is that it is to be sharp. It is said that a Hanzo katana is as sharp as 1,000 razor blades. Now, a sharp blade should cut cleanly through tatami mats. A dull blade will crush, bend, or get hung up. A dull blade is not a Hanzo katana. Mike, you're up first. You ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready.
Your blade, sir, is sharp. It cut cleanly through the thickest of our tatami mats, but on the backhand slice, it did not cut completely, though. Overall, sir, your sword will cut.
Thank you.
Tristan, your turn. You ready?
Ready as I'll ever be, sir.
Well, Tristan, your edge is sharp. It can cut through the tatami mats. My concern is the strength of your blade. It picked up another bend. Now you have 2 bends on your blade, especially right here, close to the guard.
Tristan, this Hollywood competition has been exciting and dramatic. You've been at the epicenter of all of that drama. Nobody is questioning the strength of your character. However, the strength of your blade is such that we can no longer continue to test it. For that reason, I have to ask you to please leave the forge. Mike, you are an unstoppable force in this competition, and your Hattori Hanzo 1,000-layer katana is absolutely deadly, earning you the title of Forged in Fire champion and a check for 10 grand. Good job, brother.
I am Forged in Fire champion, and it feels awesome.
The Sika sword. The Sika is a short but dangerous sword widely used by gladiators in ancient Rome. Since it was customary to fight with armor, the blade featured a sharp curve specifically designed to get around an opponent's shield. A gruesome killer, warriors would use its lethal inner edge to sever limbs, or the blade's deadly point to hook into the jaw and pierce through the head. Today, the Sika is often depicted in popular culture during graphic gladiator battles, most notably in the television series Spartacus, Blood and Sand.
Bladesmiths, this is a kill test. We'll take your Sika sword and deliver killing blows on this ballistics dummy. Frank, you're up first. You ready?
Hell yeah.
Let's do this.
Nice.
Well, Frank, your blade is sharp. In combat, the Sika is sometimes using its curve to pull away the sword and come in. In this case, he pulled away the head. Overall, your weapon will kill.
Thank you.
Tony, you ready? Mm-hmm. Let's have some fun. All right, Tony, this is a scary Sika sword. On the initial hack into the chest cavity, it penetrated so deep, it totally demolished this ballistics dummy. Overall, sir, your weapon will kill.
Tony's blade just performs great on this thing. I mean, even though they both will kill, his just looked a little bit more violent. So it has me a little nervous.
Gentlemen, this is the strength test. In order to test the strength and durability of your blades, I'm going to attack these shields. Remember, this test is all about what the shields do to your weapons and not what your weapons do to the shields. Frank, you're up first. Are you ready?
Yep, let's do this.
Well, Frank, your edge held up perfectly.
All right.
It's still straight, is still sharp. Everything is still tight and solid. Well done.
Thank you.
Tony, you're up next. Are you ready?
Yes.
Well, Tony, your edge held up perfectly as well. Razor sharp. I see no problem with the edge from the shield. You know, a nice solid blade. Well done.
Thank you.
Good job, man.
All right, gentlemen, now it's the sharpness test. I'll be cutting through this sugar cane. One cut with the front edge of your blade, one cut with the back edge. All right, Frank, you're up first. You ready?
Oh, yes.
All right, Frank, right off, your blade's got a really nice balance to it. You can see on that first cut, it kind of pulled in my hand, but it's still a good feel. On the back cut, blew right through. Any gladiator using this, be quick, be deadly. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, Tony, you're up. You ready for this?
Yep.
So, Tony, is it sharp? Yes, it's very sharp, and it cut very nicely. It's still right, still tight. Well done.
Thank you.
Bladesmiths, over the course of 3 rounds, both of you has displayed excellent bladesmithing talents. However, in this arena of competition, there can only be one champion. Tony, congratulations. You are the new Forged in Fire champion. Frank, unfortunately, your weapon did not make the cut. Please surrender your blade.
I'm fine with this result. They both killed, but his really killed. Tony's already invited me to come up there and forge. He's gonna show me some stuff. I'll know Tony probably the rest of my life.
Tony, congratulations. You are our new Forged in Fire champion, and that's a title that comes with a check for 10 grand. Good job. How do you feel right now?
I feel pretty good.
All right, well, Tony, please present your weapon to the judges.
Just okay, I'm still here. It's not a dream. I won. It's awesome. How do you put it in words? Came, I saw, and I conquered.
The Ngombe Ngulu. Ngombe Ngulu is a ceremonial sword made by the Ngombe tribe of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Featuring an ornate wooden hilt and an embellished scythe-shaped blade, this intimidating weapon was reputedly used around the late 19th century for the sacrificial beheading of tribal slaves. The razor-sharp outer edge of the hook was said to separate the victim's head from his neck in one swift, fatal strike. Following the abolition of human sacrifice, the Ngulu transitioned from executioner's weapon to an insignia of prestige carried at ceremonial dances.
Bladesmiths, this is the kill test. The Ngombe Ngulu wasn't just a weapon used by tribal chiefs to show status. It was also known as the beheading sword of the Congo. So to see what kind of lethal damage your weapon will do, I will take your Ngombe Ngulu and I'll deliver lethal slashes on this ballistics dummy. And I'm gonna try to take its head off.
They're gonna actually cut the head off of this dummy. Who does that?
Oh my God. That was badass. All right, Paul, let's talk about your Ngombe Ngulu. It feels good in the hand. It's got a razor's edge here that, upon its initial delivery into the gut, that dug in deep all the way into the bowel.
Yeah.
Now, for its intended purpose of going up to decapitate the head, well, come on, it's got no head, it's dead. Your weapon will kill.
Thank you.
All right, Steven, it's your turn. You ready?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna head on over and grab your sword.
I'm a nervous dude, and I really hope that my blade hangs with his.
All right, Stephen, your blade is sharp. It lacerated all the way into the bowels. You can see that cut through the jaw and all the way through the head. The wood that you have here, it's smooth, but it's the index here that you have for that. The way you have it flattened out and avoid that feels good in the hand.
Yes, sir.
And it will kill.
Thanks.
Gentlemen, this is the sharpness test. To test the sharpness of your blades, I'll be cutting into our cane man here. Paul, you ready?
Yes.
This is what I love to see come back in the third round. This feels like a weapon. It cuts like a weapon. It went right through that cane. You nailed it.
Thank you.
All right, Stephen, you ready for this?
Yes, sir.
Your weapon, same weapon, different feel. It's a different weight, it's a different balance, but the cuts, you can see it just passed right through. There wasn't any resistance on that cane. Nicely done.
It feels good to have made something that's effective.
Gentlemen, to test the strength and durability of your blades, I'm going to chop into these clay pots. This is not about what your blades do to the pots, but what these pots can do to your blades. Paul, you're up first.
Hitting something as hard as a clay pot, I don't have any idea what it's going to do to my edge.
That's pretty cool.
The balance is really nice on this. It's heavy where it needs to be heavy. When you're swinging it, you know where it's going. Right? There's a slight roll on the edge of your blade right here that I can get a fingernail on that. Everything down at the handle and the guard are still tight. Yeah, other than that one roll, seems to have held up well. All right, Stephen, you ready for this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nice and straight. I don't really see anything out of alignment. Your blade's a little bit heavier than Paul's, but it's got a good feel. It's got a good balance. The wood you've got in the handle and the extension of this handle has put the balance in a really nice place.
Cool.
Yeah, I can't feel any deformation on the edge. Well done.
Thank you.
Paul, Stephen, the judges' deliberation is complete, and they've made their final decision. The Forged in Fire champion is... Stephen, congratulations. You are the Forged in Fire champion. Paul, unfortunately, your weapon did not make the cut.
Paul, you both made beautiful weapons, and they both performed beautifully too. So then we had to look at the finest of details, and that rolled edge in the strength test, well, that was a deciding factor. So that's why we have to send you home.
I understand.
Paul, thank you very much for turning in such a beautiful weapon, but now I have to ask you to surrender it, and please leave the forge.
I certainly accept the judge's decision. My edge rolled and Stephen's didn't. First thing I'm going to do when I get home is clean my shop and get on with what I usually make.
Stephen, congratulations. You are the Forged in Fire champion and will be receiving a check for 10 grand. How do you feel?
I feel great. It's a little surreal. I damn well proved what I came here to prove. I am creative and that I can make a functional weapon and that you don't have to be the most experienced. If you put your heart into stuff, things, can turn out well. It was fun as hell and I'm glad that I came out on top.
The Waldo.
The Waldo is a polearm weapon that has been wielded by Korean warriors since the 6th century. The large crescent blade provided the user with incredible force that delivered lethal blows and deep cuts with one swing into an opponent. Historically, this heavy weapon required special skills and was only wielded in battle by elite Korean warriors. Today, Korean martial artists who specialize in the Waldo perform intricate maneuvers with this intimidating weapon at festivals and cultural events. Bladesmiths, 안녕하세요, and welcome to the kill test. To find out what kind of lethal damage your weapons will do, I will take your weapons and deliver lethal blows on this ballistics dummy. Eric, you're up first. You ready for this?
Yes, sir.
All right, Eric, let's talk about your Waldo here. It is forward heavy. There's a lot of metal in here, but it is wieldable. Now, your edge is sharp. It penetrates deeply into this ballistics dummy, cutting the gel torso and into the bones. Overall, sir, your Waldo, it will kill.
Thank you.
All right, Dave, your turn, sir. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. All right, Dave, let's talk about your Waldo here. It is a little bit heavier than the other weapon. Heavier weapons require a lot of adjustments, but your edge here is sharp with this forward weight that cuts deep into this ballistics dummy and cuts the bones inside. But in doing so, sir, your edge over here did take a little bit of rolling. But the other parts are fine. And overall, sir, your Waldo will kill.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, you know what time it is. It's time for the strength test. We're calling this one the Bamboo Man Attack. To test the overall construction of your blade, I'm going to take them and gently tap them against our Bamboo Man over here. Now remember, this is not about what your weapons do to these targets. It's about what these targets do to your weapons. Eric, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. So Eric, right off, this is a heavy beast. Your balance point's not bad. I kind of like that right there, where you can manipulate the weapon. As far as the weapon performance goes, you maintain an edge all the way along. It's still sharp. Nicely done.
Thank you.
All right, Dave, you're up. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, Dave, your weapon is really, really heavy. So you can make a devastating cut, but recovery is really slow. As far as the blade itself is dented sideways here and up above here, but still solid. So you survived quite nicely. Well done, Dave.
Thank you.
Bladesmiths, this is the sharpness test, the sugarcane slice. To find out how sharp your weapons are, I'm going to attempt to cut through all these sugar canes. Unlike the strength test, this is all about what your weapons do and how well they cut the sugar canes. Eric, are you ready to do this?
Yes, sir.
All right, Eric, let's talk about your edge here. Your edge, it's sharp. It cuts through all the sugar canes. And overall, sir, your weapon, it will cut.
Thank you.
Dave, it's your turn, sir. You ready for this?
Yes, sir.
All right, Dave, let's talk about your weapon here. It's still sharp, and it cuts cleanly all the way through, but the weight of your blade as I'm cutting dragged downward, and I ran out of sugarcane. But overall, sir, your weapon, it will cut.
Thank you.
Well, gentlemen, you both performed extremely well in our Korean-themed challenge. Both your Waldos did great during our tests, but this is a competition and there has to be a winner. The judges have made the decision, and today's Forged and Fire champion is Eric. Congratulations. Now, Dave, you fought hard, but unfortunately, you're not today's winner. Your time in this competition has ended, and for that reason, I'm gonna have to ask you to please step off the forged floor.
Good job, man.
Well, Eric, you know what that means. You are the newest Forged and Fire champion. You're gonna be walking out of here with a check for $10,000. Congratulations.
I feel awesome coming out here, winning the competition, having my skills validated. This is a crowning achievement of mine.
Well done.
Thank you. If somebody wants me to make a Waldo, it's gonna cost them 10 grand.
Robert, Jared, congratulations. You boys have made it into the final round of this Greek mythology-inspired competition. Now, when you came here, we had you make signature blades in your signature style. That's not gonna happen at home. Instead, you'll be making this weapon from Greek mythology. The Sword of Perseus.
All right.
We'll see you in 4 days.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Go get it. Hurry.
She's a camera hog right there. It's day one. I'm getting ready to start making the Sword of Perseus. Never made a sword before, and now first one I'm making is a sword from a god, basically. So I'm gonna have to do my best to please the Greek gods. I'm going with the 80 CRV2. It's a good steel, it's tough, it holds a good edge. My main goal today is to get this thing forged to shape. For me, the most difficult part of forging the sword is getting the curves and the hourglass shape to it. I'm already getting kind of thin in the belly up here where I need it. So I'm kind of trying to avoid having to get the blade too thin. Taking a little longer than I'm wanting, but it's still going good.
It's day one. I'm back at my home forge in Middleburg, New York. I'm getting ready to start in the Sword of Perseus. It's gonna be a tricky sword to forge out for sure. I'm gonna try to make my blade out of Damascus. I've got 1084, I've got 15N20. I wanna do a twisted Damascus and then cut that in half and sandwich it around some solid 1084. And when I grind down my edge profile, the edge will show the 1084 when it's etched, and I think could really, really look pretty neat. The only time I've ever done twisted Damascus was with 2 people. We'll see how this goes doing it with 1 person. No, there's no way. I'm not even gonna bother with twisting. I'm just gonna go for a random pattern Damascus, start working this billet, cut it, restack it, and forge weld again.
Go get it.
Today, I'd like to get the blade profiled a little better, heat treat it, and start working on the guard. So I'm getting ready to quench. As I heat the sword up for the quench, I've never done one this big, especially in my forge like this. It's a lot smaller, so I'm had to kind of go back and forth and move it in and out and get an even heat. Barely got the whole edge in there. Yes, good. I'll take it. The heat treat's done. I'm gonna start working on the guard. I'm gonna use a Damascus just because I want to do something a little different. There we go. And I wanted to basically make things harder on myself.
Day 2, I got my billet with my 1084 core, and we're heading in the forge. The big thing today is gonna be profiling my blade, getting everything forged out. I need to keep on schedule, and I need to get the heat treat today. I'm moving a ton of steel. I'm going from the press, I'm going to the anvil, and then bam. My press is down. It is gonna put me really, really behind. I don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah, I got nothing. It's all arm from here on out. The tang took a bit of time to get drawn out. Not having that press is costing me precious time. It's gonna be a fight to the finish.
Last day, I gotta get this thing finished up. I'm planning on starting off with the guard, getting that thing done, then start working on that disc pommel, and then my handle. The pommel's attached now, the horseshoe guards are attached. I gotta fit the wood basically in between the two. I wish I would have left the pommel off and done the wood first and then welded it on, but it's too late and I just gotta kind of squeeze the stuff in there. It feels good to me. It's light, it feels pretty balanced. I feel good about my sword. It's a home run. Hopefully it's enough to where I can win the game. Girls, what do y'all think of Daddy's sword?
It will kill. It will kill.
You gotta say louder.
It will kill.
This started day 4. Yesterday, the heat treat came out perfect. Yes. But I got a mountain of work to do. I'm exhausted. My back is killing me. My arm is sore. And I'm really just wishing that my press was working. I'm behind schedule and I got a lot of makeup to do today.
Handle assembly went great. I've got my pins in, but it's a heavy sword, so the rest of my time is gonna be hogging more material off. My arms feel like they're about ready to fall off. Pattern looks amazing. My only regret is that I couldn't get more weight off of it.
All right, bladesmiths, welcome to the kill test. Now, in Greek mythology, Perseus used his sword to decapitate Medusa and remove her head from her body to use it as a weapon. To that end, I will take your weapon and help me deliver some killing slashes and blows to liberate her head from her body. Robert, you're up first. You ready for this?
Yes, sir.
All right, Robert, let's talk about your sword here. I like the design that you have of the Damascus in there, but it's so heavy. It's about 5 pounds over here, but the thing is, it's so forward heavy. Most of the weight's up here. When I'm lifting this, I can feel all the stress right there. This is supposed to be meant to be a single-handed use weapon. Now, your edge is plenty sharp. It was easy to thrust and cut, and it will kill. All right, Jared, your turn. You ready, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, Jared. First up, you nailed the balance on this. As a one-handed sword, it's about 3 pounds lighter than your opponent's. Your edge is razor sharp. Every slash is deep. The thrust, no issues at all. And most importantly, sir, it will kill.
All right, bladesmiths, we took Medusa's head during the kill test. Now the Kraken's turned to stone. So what I'm gonna do is take your swords and beat them mercilessly into these stone Kraken heads. It's gonna be brutal. And Rob, you're up first. How you feeling?
A little nervous, but I'm ready.
You okay?
Yep, bounced off the glove, didn't cut me.
Oh, what's that? My blade breaks, my heart breaks, but I am just so glad that it didn't hurt Jay.
Oh, a little bit of a problem here, Rob. On the tang, you can see a black spot, so that means you had a stress fracture there. And with the weight of this sword hitting those stone Kraken skulls, it was enough to allow that stress fracture to just continue all the way across. So the good part is that your edge held up, so good job on the Damascus. but it's kind of hard to swing a sword without a handle on it.
Jared, your blade still has to survive 4 strikes. Jay, let's get crack-a-lackin'. Jared, your blade survived. Robert, unfortunately, your blade cannot continue to be tested in this competition, and for that reason, I have to ask you to please leave the forge. Come on forward, my friend. You killed the Medusa, though.
It really sucks that it broke, but this whole experience has been great. And I'm just gonna keep moving forward. I'm just gonna keep getting better at what I do. It's a heartbreaker, but I'm really proud of what I did.
Jared, congratulations. The strength of your weapon has ensured that you are the Forged and Fire champion, leaving this forge with a check for $10,000. Good job, brother.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
How you feeling right now?
Good.
How about a smile or something?
Yeah.
All right, come on over and shake our hands, brother. Good job, man. Good job.
I am the new Forged and Fire champion. Something I never thought I'd say. I can't wait to get home, give my daughters the news, and take the 10 grand, take my family on a vacation somewhere.
Alex, Kevin, congratulations. You guys are in the 3rd and final round of this competition, which means that you're both 1 step closer to the title of Forged and Fire champion and a check for $10,000. All you need to do now is go home and recreate this iconic weapon from history. The Spatha. Good luck, bladesmiths. We'll see you in 4 days.
Good luck, Kevin.
So it's day 1 in Belleville, West Virginia. I got a Spatha to go make. Let's get crack-a-lackin'. I'm gonna be using 5160. It's a forgiving medium. It'll bring some strength to whatever they're gonna smash, cut, break, kill. So I'm gonna try Big Sexy first to bash down the width of that material to about 2.5 to 2.25 inches wide. Come on, dang it, work. 4 days isn't enough time to make a Spatha. You don't know what the complications are gonna be. Oh, she's getting there though. I slowly started drawing it out. I'm about 35 inches long. You know, it's just patience, getting the equipment to work right. Tomorrow, pressure will be on because I gotta get this thing quenched. If I don't, I'm behind the ball. Woo!
Definitely excited to be back home, back in my shop where I'm nice and comfortable. I'm gonna do a full Damascus blade with a little bit of a ladder pattern in it. I'm really looking forward to going all out and making something really cool to impress the judges.
First press was just nice and quick and light, just to push everything together. And this next press will be a little more aggressive. Probably the most important part of this entire build.
My welds seem to have stuck pretty well. I'm gonna start drawing this thing out.
I've got one seam that came apart. I think if I just flux it, get it hot, and press it again, should be okay. Let's hope. This might be a make or break moment right here.
I really hope that's the only one, but deep down, I'm petrified that there's gonna be more of these seams opening up throughout this billet. As I go to start drawing this billet out, a big seam just opens up right in the center of my billet.
So I think my best bet is gonna be to break this billet in half, salvage as much welded steel as I possibly can, and I'll just do a generic random pattern Damascus, but it'll still be a Damascus sword. Well, the good news is both of those seem really solid, so at least got something out of today.
Today, I need to get the blade done and quenched. So I got the shoulders put in. I have the medial ridge where you can distinctly see where it's starting to come together. It's time for the quench. Oh, yeah, look at that. And we're quenching again because I don't have time to F around with a normalization because I went all the way down to the bottom. and I felt it bend. I gotta go through all the steps all over again. Still got that bend. I'm gonna temper overnight, and in that process, it'll start to hopefully normalize down. It's hit or miss. It's either gonna go well or it's gonna go wrong. And yeah, it went wrong today.
It's the morning of day 2. Definitely had some setbacks yesterday. Starting the day with my billets tacked up and ready for forge welding, and hoping to end the day with a quenched and hardened Spatha. First press. Looks okay so far, but I'm still gonna be really careful. I've got my billet drawn out pretty close to shape. I have just enough length here. You can see I'm kind of forging in that medial ridge already. This is the longest blade I have ever attempted to quench. I pull the blade out of the oil. At the end of the day, I have an intact Damascus blade. So first thing tomorrow, I'm gonna get my blade etched and the handle prepared, and looking forward to a good day.
I'm feeling better than last night because I got the blade tempered and got it straight. Still behind the ball. I'm gonna start to fit up the handle, start looking at different parts and what I think looks well. So my design plan for this pommel is I'm gonna take the 2 ends of the deer antler and I'm going to carve a lion's head out of them. Hand carving anything is time consuming, so I can't get lost in my head. I'll set it in on top of glow-in-the-dark resin, and then I'll fill that in with a clear epoxy. I'm not walking in there with something plain. Tomorrow, I'm gonna put some bronze metal stain on the blade, and I'm gonna finish this no matter what. It'll be done.
Started day 4. The fatigue of the past couple of days is definitely starting to set in. The blade's been etched in the coffee overnight to really bring out the contrast. Yeah, it really darkened up that 1084. So this Spatha needs to have a wooden guard and a disc-shaped pommel. So I'm going to do a stacked handle. I'm using ironwood for the guard and the pommel because it's super strong. And then I'm going to use black wood for the main part of the handle. I've got all my individual pieces of this handle fitted up nice and tight. Gotta get this blade sharpened, and I've never sharpened anything this long before, but I know how to put an edge on a knife. I cannot wait to see this thing put to the test. Word.
All right, bladesmiths, your Spatha swords look amazing. It's time to find out what kind of lethal damage they can do. To do that, I will take your weapon, deliver some killing slashes and blows on this more than willing ballistics dummy. Alex, you're up first. You ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right, Alex. First up, I can really appreciate the beauty that you have with your Damascus pattern right there. It really stands out. Very clean lines. The medial ridge you have on here, I can imagine how much work that takes to get it almost perfectly straight all the way through to the tip. Your tip is sharp enough to penetrate with a thrust and lacerate on the way out. And most importantly, it will kill.
Thank you.
Good job. All right, Kevin, it's your turn. So you ready?
Hell yeah.
Let's do this.
Alex's Spatha just destroyed that ballistics dummy. And now I'm feeling anxious, excited. So I got the adrenaline going.
Doesn't have a ridge, does it? Right up. No medial ridge on either side of the blade. It's one of the parameters.
Right.
Kevin, your blade must fall within our parameters in order to be tested evenly and fairly with your competitors. Your blade does not have a central ridge. That was a parameter that was outlined before we ever sent you home. And for that reason, you cannot be the Forged and Fired champion. Come on, my friend.
You know, it's just a bummer I can't see it tested. That's what I really want to see. I want to see how it holds up.
Nice work on that handle, brother.
Thank you, I appreciate it. When I was making it, it had the defined ridge in it. Just with the sanding and grinding, it just took more of it off. But this whole experience has been a blast. Congratulations. This isn't a loss. I'm coming home with a $10,000 experience.
Alex, you made a sharp and deadly Spatha. But not only that, you made something that is detailed and beautiful. Your attention to detail has elevated you to the title of Forged in Fire Champion. Congratulations. Your title comes with a check for $10,000. Good job, brother.
This is pretty wild. I came here to challenge myself and put myself through a super rigorous test, and I came out on top, and it feels great. This $10,000, I'm actually gonna give it all straight to my parents. They supported me through college as I was learning bladesmithing, and they're both getting ready to retire, so this is all going to them.